single sentence can change your entire life. Some of the most big life-changing things that happen in your life are not because of grand events or elaborate plans. Rather, they're because of the right words at the right time. Those perfect words at the perfect time can change the way you think, change how you believe, and literally change the way you treat yourself, and in consequence, change the way you live your life. Over the years, I've heard things that really stuck with me and really changed my perspective. Moreover, it changed the way I viewed being alive. And that's because it changed the way I viewed success, it changed the way I viewed failure, it changed how I viewed friendships, how I viewed love, and how I viewed just being me. And today, I want to share 4 of the most impactful things that people have shared with me throughout the years. And hopefully it could help you on your journey. Because sometimes the right words at the right time can change everything. And this list is not in order of importance, so stay tuned till the end, because maybe one of them is exactly what you need to hear right now. The very first lesson is life is just one moment. This happened, I was 17 or 18. I was working as a cashier somewhere, and I was just in my head passing items, and a man just stopped me and said, "Where are you?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" Like, "I'm here in the store, I'm passing items, fulfilling your order." He's like, "No, where are you really?" And I was just so confused. My young mind could not take the philosophical perspective that he was trying to bring, especially not when I was at the job on the cash. It was like so unearthing. And then he told me, "What do you want to do with your life?" And I was like, "Oh, I have plans to do this, I have plans to do that." I started getting into it with him. And he's like, "Why aren't you doing it right now?" I'm like, "I can't just do that right now. I need to prepare. I need to do this. I need to do that." And I just started getting into it, and he stopped me. And he's like, "Listen, kid, life is just one moment." And at the time, I didn't understand what he was talking about, because I'm like, "Okay, your order is gonna be $100.95. I didn't get what he was talking about. So I got home at the end of that day, and I really started to think about what he said and the significance of what he said. Life is just one moment. And how I interpreted it was that you don't get a second chance. There's no more that is happening. It's always what is happening right now. So it's for you to work with it now to create the future that you want to see. Because if you think about it, tomorrow never really gets here. Because when you get to tomorrow, you're always in the now. I was going into explaining him my entire life, what I wanted to do, and when I was in position, when I was ready, then I'm gonna do this, and when I'm this age, then I'm gonna do this. But then I started to realize the only time that we really have is right now. So it's either you're doing what is fulfilling you or you're not. If you really want something out of your life, you need to start doing it right now, because you are in this moment, and this is the only moment that matters. If in this moment you're saying, "Tomorrow I'm gonna work out," the circumstances are perfect, there's nothing really affecting you, but you don't have the will to do something. So you're like, "I'm gonna put it off till tomorrow." Tomorrow you're going to be in right now as well. What is going to change with your perspective when you get to tomorrow? Absolutely nothing. It's either you have the will in this moment or you do not. It's either you start being who you set out to be or you will not. You only get one moment, and this is your moment. So you need to charge yourself up, give yourself the motivation, the belief in yourself to make that reality possible for you. Because if you wait for it, it's never gonna get there. Seize this moment and start to live, because life is just one moment. And in this moment, you can choose to be free. But the second important lesson that I was taught, or that someone told me, is that the secret to your life is hidden in your 24 hours. And this really changed the way I view things, because I always thought of the future as something that was on the way. I always thought of the future as something that I'm working towards. So I'm like, when I get older, this is gonna happen. Down the line, I'm gonna have this, or I'm gonna do this. When really, I should be thinking about the future in a different way. I should be thinking about the future in the things that I'm doing right now. Because if I start doing something right now, that guarantees the result in the future. If I start working out today, I'm going to eventually be a super fit person. I can't say that, oh, one day I'm going to be a super fit person if I'm not doing the things necessary to be that fit person. And that thing that I have to do is hidden in the 24 hours that I'm living right now. So maybe right now I'm not viewing myself as the future, but I really should, because the things that I'm doing today is going to make sure that that future is guaranteed. In order to become new, you have to destroy what is old. You can't be the new person that has all of this success that becomes the dreams that you're imagining, and at the same time be the person that is one, dreaming it, and be the person that does not have it. It doesn't work. So in order to become that person, you need to start doing the things necessary. Find out what a day in the life for the fastest runner in the world looks like, and then start to reflect it. And once you start making these changes in your life, that's when you can guarantee that you're more likely to become that person down the line. So really examine your life. Think about what you're doing. Think about what you're not doing. Think about where you say that you want to be in life versus where you actually are in life. Really have a face-to-face conversation with yourself. Come to terms with the things that you're actually putting into play in your life versus the things that you're saying that you're putting into play in life, but you're not actually doing. You have to be brutally honest with yourself so that you can actually become the person that you imagine yourself to be. This leads us into our next lesson. And the next lesson is you can only do one thing at a time. A lot of times we overcrowd ourselves. We stress about what we need to do. We're piling up things on things on things on things on things. And even when we're doing all of these 100 things, we're thinking about another 100 things that we have to do. And then when we don't accomplish them, we start to have a breakdown. We start to lose it. We start to get nervous, anxious. We start to feel like failures, losers. But one thing that has really put things in perspective to me is accepting and appreciating that you're just one human. As a human, you have your limitations. So there's things that you can do, and there's things that maybe you have to delegate. There's things that maybe somebody else is better at that they're going to have to do in order for something to work for you. But you cannot do it all, and you cannot do it all at once. Just appreciating this put so much weight off of my shoulders, because I used to be the person that's like, I need to get everything done on my terms, and I need to get everything done because if I don't do it, it's not going to be done right. So I used to have people that work with me or worked for me, and I used to say, okay, do exactly this. And when they're doing it, I'm following up on them right away, like, oh, like, no, like this. It's like such a hoggish way of existing. You're not going to be the best at everything. There are people in life that are dedicated to doing the things that you're not the best at. So maybe you need to work with these people, but you just need to accept that you can only do one thing at a time. So breathe and focus, and everything is going to work out. Now, that lesson is the perfect segue to the fourth and final lesson. You are the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most of your time with. When I first heard this, I just treated it as, okay, well, if I have a group of friends, I'm most likely going to be a reflection of them. But I used to still think like, oh, it's not that serious. Like, if I spend time working on whatever I'm working on, it's not gonna reflect on me. But you really have to think about it deeper, because now we're in the age of social media. Now we're in the age of where we're listening to podcasts, we're listening to YouTube videos. We're spending more time with people parasocially than we're even spending time with people in real life. So when people say you're a reflection of the 5 people that you spend the most of your time with, you also have to be conscious of the videos that you're watching. Who are you paying attention to? What are the things that consumes the most of your time? Are there favorite people that you listen to that probably don't have the best ideas according to what you're trying to be in your life? The entertainment that you're spending a lot of time on, you don't realize that you're spending a lot of time on. But regardless of if you realize it or not, these things are influencing you subconsciously. And before you know it, you're having a conversation with someone and you realize that the ideas that you're talking about are not even your ideas. But all of a sudden you're fighting for these ideas. You're emotional about these ideas. Why? You're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most of your time with. Where you put the most of your energy is where you're going to get back the most of your energy. So really be conscious of where you are feeding from. Let's put this in perspective. Let's say there's 2 people, person A and person B, and they both want to be the fastest runners. If one person is feeding on McDonald's, fast food, going out every single night, drinking every single night, staying up late every single night, and the other person is sleeping early, not being distracted, training every single day, eating right, and doing all the things necessary to optimize their body, it's likely that the person that is doing that is going to speed past the person that is not doing that in the race. Why? Because what they're being fed, what they're feeding from, the positivity that they're feeding from is going to fuel them so that they can run the optimal race. While where the other person is feeding from, negativity, pleasure, entertainment, is not going to fuel them in the same way. And this is the same thing with the people around us. If we're fueling off negative ideas or low vibrational ideas, low vibrational states of being, how is it that we're going to be the most optimal version of ourselves? If we think about it that way, then we can see that maybe we need to start consuming in a different way, or consuming in a different place, or just taking a break from what we're consuming so we can actually see the effects that it's causing us. So there you have it. Those are 4 of the most impactful lessons that I've learned throughout my life. The truth is, wisdom is not just about what you hear. It's about what you apply. Now, these 4 lessons were super impactful in my life, but it changed my life because I actually used them. I actually put them in application. I didn't just hear it and said, wow, that's deep, and then did nothing with it. You could hear all the best quotes. You could hear all the best lessons. You could talk to sages, have tea with monks, have the best information given to you. But this is where you have to appreciate that it's not knowledge that is power, but rather it's the application of knowledge that will be the power to bring you to where you need to be on your journey to becoming the best version of you.